Welcome to a brand new Cornfed review. Today we'll be reviewing Novocaine.
You're gonna love this.
You can take a punch.
This is wild.
Heads up! Oh, shit, sorry. It's fine.
Novocaine was directed by two nobodies, so let's not waste our time. I don't care, you don't care. Nobody, they didn't make anything great yet. We'll figure out if this is their first great. But it also stars Jack Quaid, a notorious Nepo baby of the highly hated Dennis Quaid. We also have Amber Mid-Thunder. That has to be the coolest last name of all time. Mid-Thunder is amazing. But I was watching the movie and I was like, where is she from? But she is the main character of Prey, the Predator movie, which is probably my favorite Predator installment of all time. That movie was amazing. If you haven't seen it, go watch that on Hulu. But yeah, she is the love interest of this movie. The last big star of this movie is Jacob Batalon, otherwise known as Ned Leeds anywhere and everywhere else of the MCU, Spider-Man's man behind the chair. The plot of the movie is that we have the main character, Nate, and he has a disability where he cannot feel pain. I forgot what the disability is called, but he cannot feel pain. He has to set a timer on his watch every 3 hours to take a piss so his bladder doesn't explode. That's basically the premise. He falls in love with this girl. This girl gets kidnapped during a bank robbery, and the rest of the movie is him finding and chasing this girl to go and save and rescue her. Super quick, right off the bat, let's talk about performances, all right? Jack Quaid's performance was absolutely amazing. You have to understand what kind of movie this is. This isn't an Oscar bait movie. This isn't a cinematic experience. It is a popcorn movie. This is a movie where you sit down, get a large popcorn, sprinkle some jalapenos on it, get a hot dog of some sorts, and get a large Diet Coke, no other drink or beverage matters, a large Diet Coke, and just watch and enjoy. This isn't a movie where you're going to go analyze and inspect the themes and the motifs. You're just going to have a great time. So please see it as that. With that being said, Jack Quaid leading this popcorn movie, he does absolutely amazing. He's lovable. He has charisma. He has that anxious, like timid, but also kind of confident in some areas. He has that humor. Jack Quaid absolutely sold me on this movie, and he sold me for any future projects of him being a lead. I don't have a lot of familiarity with Jack Quaid. I watched a few episodes of The Boys, but other than that, I don't have a lot of familiarity with him. But he really sold me in this movie. He does a great job leading the charge in this movie. I never felt like he was a B-roll actor or I wanted someone with more star power. He absolutely executes and destroys, in a good way, this movie in such a good way. And then we have Amber Mid-Thunder, who is the girl next door, the confident girl that approaches the anxious, shy Jack Quaid in this situation, Nate. And she does a good job. She's likable, she's pretty, she's funny, and she's confident in the ways that he's not. And I think that in the first 30 minutes when they were building that relationship, she does a great job, and all throughout she does a great job. Nothing really outstanding about this performance, but she did great, and for the movie that it was exactly what I wanted and needed. Now let's talk about Jacob Batalon, man. His only role ever was Ned Leeds in all the Spider-Man movies, right? And in this movie, he's essentially the same exact person. He's literally the guy behind the chair. Jack Quaid calls him to kind of figure out where this guy's heading and where to cross-reference shit, and he plays that role. But let me tell you, he is exactly Ned Leeds in this movie, but he's a little bit more edgier. He's allowed to cuss and he's allowed to say funny things. Man, I hate to say it, but he was the star of this movie. I wasn't sure how I'd feel about him in general, but he killed it. The only time I laughed in this movie was him, and it was thoroughly throughout. I was laughing because it was him. He was funny. He was roasting. There was a part when Jack Quaid's hand is all fucked up. He was in like bandages, and he was like, I'm not sure why they had to make it all sexy and put it in fishnets. I swear I was like laughing out loud. This is a great time, and Jacob did a great job. He plays the same guy. Ned Leeds, again, a little bit edgier, but he is the humor of this movie, a huge part of that. And he does a great job. He really surprised me. And I actually do want to see him in more movies. He's funny. He's funny. I want to see him branch out a little bit. I don't want to see him be in serious roles. I don't want to see him lead a movie, but I definitely would enjoy seeing him in future projects. Now let's get into the plot. The plot was great. I love this movie because oftentimes movies feel like they have to include a love interest. They have to rush that or whatever, like in reference of Gladiator 2. You just find out that the main character is married to this girl and she dies and now he's on a bloodlust, and you can't be behind that. You don't care because you just met this girl and she died 15 minutes later. This movie does a great job of having zero action in the first 30 to 40 minutes of this movie. Zero action. It is straight up just a rom movie, a romantic movie. You're watching Jack Quaid fall in love with his girl from Prey, Amber, and you're watching this beautiful love story play out. They work together, they go on a date together, they go back to his apartment together, and it is beautiful. I love that. I love that they didn't have to, like, here, audience, here's the action that you wanted. Okay, now we can do some love. Okay, here's some more action that you wanted. Okay, here's some love. No, they just said, hey, sit down, shut up. Here is a romantic story for the first 30 minutes. So that way we can make a believable action redemption story in the second half. And I love that. And I'm so happy that they took the time to actually care about this first segment of them falling in love, because that way you are more involved, you're more invested when she gets kidnapped and Jack Quaid is on the hunt to go get her. I loved it. I absolutely thought it was brilliant. Sometimes I feel like they have to throw in action or stuff to keep the audience engaged, but no, this is great first half. I love that part. And then, of course, the bank robbery happens, she gets kidnapped, and the rest is high-octane action. The best way I can describe this movie, it was a superhero movie in the best way possible without all the constraints and the ties to Easter eggs and cameos and the bigger picture. It felt like a superhero movie, very condensed. There's no, like, I wonder if the Daredevil's gonna fart on my asshole in the ending credits. No, it's just, he has a superpower of sorts. He can't feel pain, and they really play with that in a really, really good way. I really thought there was a brilliant scene where Jack Quaid's character, Nate, is getting tortured, and he's trying to buy time until Ned Leeds can come and save him. So the guy's like, I'm going to take my time and torture you. He doesn't know that Nate can't feel pain. So he's like wiggling his arrow that's in his arm. He's trying to pull his fingernails off. And it felt like it was a parody on like those sex scenes where the girl has to pretend an orgasm or whatever. He was like, fuck, this hurts. Shit, you're really getting me. I thought that was brilliant. I thought it was funny. I've never seen something like that before, but they really play with that disability a lot, and I love that. They also had some great set pieces. There was a whole scene where there was a booby-trapped house. That was a lot of fun. But yeah, man, this movie was all around great. The best way, again, I can describe it is like a superhero movie. It felt like a lot like Jack Quaid was like a Peter Parker. Let's say you're watching a Peter Parker movie, because I felt that way so heavily, because he has those quips, he has those snappy dialogue when he's fighting somebody. He's like, you're gonna want to watch that. You know, like little stuff like that. Side note, that was like my only minor negative. Those little like quips, like they're fighting in the kitchen, and he grabs a burning hot pan. He can't feel pain, so he's holding it. The guy he's fighting grabs it, and he burns his hand. He's like, you're gonna want to watch that. It's like, it's too cheeky and slightly cringy, but that's me nitpicking. That is kind of sprinkled throughout the movie to where it kind of a little bit lost me. I was like, fuck. He's a little cringy, like, come on, bro. Like, just little moments like that was like, But with these types of movies that are fun, they're action-packed, you know, there's not a lot of deep layers. Those are there to just have fun, laugh, giggle, like, just keep that, like, not serious tone. So I totally get it. But for me, it's just like, But yeah, man, overall, I had a fantastic time at this movie. I'm going to be really honest with you. I went to go watch this movie, a little buzz. I had a few drinks before I went to go watch this movie, and I had an absolute blast. I had such a great time. It was like such a fun movie theater experience, because I just got popcorn, I got a soda, and I was just laughing, having a good time. I didn't have to put on my thinking cap and really investigate and inspect the motifs and the dialogue. No, it's just I could have a good time, and that's what this movie is for. This movie is perfect for a date, or if you want to have just a fun time, you want to turn your brain off, watch some fun action, watch a good comedy, watch a good love story, has some good twists too. So definitely I go recommend this movie, but I will say, this is definitely a movie you can for sure wait until it comes off on Netflix or Peacock or Hulu. It's definitely a movie that you're going to have a good time at home as well. I wouldn't super recommend that it is needed, that you need to go watch this on the big IMAX screen or a screen in general. It's definitely, I feel like, designed in a way to be watched at home. And I really hate saying that because I love the movie theater experience, but it definitely kind of felt like that package in a way. I don't regret watching it in the movie theater, but if you're going to watch it in the movie theater, maybe take a couple shots, get some popcorn, and have a good time. Maybe bring a date or whatever. It's the best way I can say it. It's just a fun time. It's a fun time. It's a good time. I can confidently say that if you go and watch this movie, you're gonna have a good time. There's nothing to hate about this movie. There's nothing to dislike about this movie. It does play it pretty safe, but it's great. That's what the movie is. It definitely has some horror elements too, and it's really creative. He breaks his arm. He sticks a bone in someone's. It's fun. It's creative. It's a good time. And I hate to say it, I'd love to see a sequel. But if you saw it, let me know what you think. Write it down in the comments. Tell me if you hate it. Tell me if you love it. Tell me if you're gonna wait for streaming. My final score, the moment that everybody around the world has been waiting for this lane. Remember, my scores, I don't compare these movies to the Casablancas of the world or the Interstellars of the world. This movie is a fun popcorn movie, an action movie. With that being said, my final rating is a 4.5 out of 5. Again, let me know what you thought about this movie. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know. Follow me on Letterboxd. Thank you for watching, and thank you for subscribing. I'm assuming that you are, and if you haven't, that's kind of fucked up, bro. You watched this whole video. I'm gonna throw me a subscribe. I'm at 63 right now. I'm almost at 100. Help me get there, please. I'm gonna be pumping out more videos. Have a great time. Love you. Goodbye.
You are a sniveling little suck-up sellout full of suffering succotash, son!